Hey, one of those days.
Pretty Guys Pod. We're back, baby.
All right. First off, let's talk about that shiner you got.
You like that?
Yeah,
Let's see. Let's turn it
because
bright.
I've been having to ask you about it just so we could ask on the pod. Oh my goodness.
So now this side was like this yet 2 days ago. Now we're starting to get a residual black eye on the right
Yeah,
side, which is 2 days
yeah,
later. I'm not sure why that's happening.
yeah. You mess with me again, that's what's gonna happen to you.
You should have seen that the bear. Um, uh,
All right, I gotta hear it, dude. I didn't. So, guys, I didn't ask him about it just so he could talk. I could get my real reaction on the pod.
yeah, it was pretty simple, pretty fun. So, oh guys, it's 11:11. So hey,
Oh,
you beautiful people out there. Sorry, I'm
it's
spaced out.
not. It's 10:06.
11. It's November 11th.
Oh, oh, we'll have
I'm
a
I'm
moment.
operating at a different frequency currently.
If we go an hour and 9 minutes, we'll take a pause and moment of silence for 11:11 and 11:11.
Anyways, lessons on Friday. Had my first hour, totally normal. My second hour, this kid, no, he's 11 or 12, I can't remember. He's working on. He was popping up a lot. He was getting under the ball. So I'm like, hey, lower your flight, head high. Do the whole lesson. We're working on a high turn. He's doing great. We get back to the machine segment, and the way I set up the machine is totally lazy. Like I pull, and I've gotten hit. I've got hit earlier in the year. Like a kid, a 14-year-old smoked the ball, ricocheted off the machine, hit me like in the neck, and run
Yeah.
hell. Like it was bad. And I was like, oh, I got to do that. So get lazy again. And in this cage, I split time. So 5 days a week, I go to my cage in Denton. The other day, I go to Torque. And in Torque in Argyle, the cages are tiny. Like they're really, really small lengthwise. So he's literally 40 feet away, not even. Set up the machine, pull the L screen, and like the machine's here. And the L screen is like 6 inches away from the machine in front of it. So it's totally exposed. So he takes the whole round. We got like 3 minutes left in the lesson. And I had the video going too.
Oh,
Like
so you got it on video?
I have 11 minutes of unedited raw footage. I might have to pull a clip. Beautiful swing. Literally
Oh,
takes a swing. I'm like, stay right there, lower your flight. Next swing. Boom. Smokes it off the machine. And it happened. It was weird how like my perception of it felt slow. It felt slower, but not slow. I guess if that makes sense. Off the machine into my nose. And I was like, oh, and I looked down and blood just poured. And I,
really?
oh,
You
oh,
know?
dude, it
Oh
plugged my
no.
nose, and everybody starts freaking out. And in my head, I'm like, I'm fine. But if you look in the video, what are you gonna say?
Sorry. I gotta ask the most important question of all time.
Please.
Did you continue?
No, they wouldn't let me.
Oh, but you wanted to?
I felt totally no, I felt totally fine.
Grit.
And I was like,
Grit.
it was just blood. And if you look back in the video, when I went past the video, I was like fumbling around.
Oh,
It didn't look good. I looked like I was drinking. So I was like, I'm fine. I go outside, and the Kelly, the nice lady of the wife of the owner, she got paper towels, and I was like this. And Nolan, the kid was you could see him in the video for like 11 minutes.
he's upset.
He was mortified. And of course, my next lesson was rolling up. So all these people are outside. It looks like I just got shot. There's like a pile of blood on the floor, and I have the towels like this. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so bad, Jade. It's so bad. I'm so sorry." I'm like, "It's good, man. How bad can it be?" And I looked at Kelly, the wife of the owner, and I went, "How bad is it, Kelly?" And it went like that, and she was like, "It's bad." And I was like, "Oh no." So I was like, "Is that bad?" She's like, "Yeah, it's a little crooked." I'm like, "Shit." Well, I started fumbling around. I was like, it was loose. Like I didn't realize the bone is pretty small. So I'm like this. And I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do this, I got to do this now because I just got smoked. Like I'm adrenaline's high. So I was like,
Oh,
I think it's
the
straight.
grit.
And I went, Kelly, is it better? She goes, okay, it's straighter. Okay. So I plugged it, and it was bad, dude. Totally
Dude,
concussed. I went, anyways, picked up so I got smoked, and I called my mom. She's like, oh, shit, I gotta drive all the way out to Argyle. So she drove 50 minutes, and I picked up all of my stuff, put the machine in the truck, and I waited for her. And I was like, I thought I was fine. Went to the doctor. I was not good. Like totally broken nose, broken orbital bone. He said it's kind of straight. Like I think you'll have to go to the ear, nose, and throat doctor, but it looks relatively straight from the CAT scan. He's like, you probably shouldn't do anything for the next couple of days.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. So
that is, dude. You know what? That's
you can
grit.
see, dude. You can see my nose is crooked. You see
Yeah,
the white line?
It's crooked, yeah. But it's okay though. I mean,
That's not
you look
at first glance. It's okay.
better than before. Look like little Michael.
Ooh.
I
The
love
first guy in there in the doctor, he was like, "Hey, you look like Owen Wilson. You trying to look like Owen Wilson?"
Dang, dude. You know what? That's a freaking celeb comp for me too.
And look,
If I let my hair grow,
you do look like Owen Wilson.
thanks, man. I'm the king of broken noses, dude. I swear. So
You got broken noses?
yeah. But I feel for you, man. That's tough. You know, dog to pop it back in and be like, yeah, I'm fine. That's why we're the Gritty Guys pod. You know what I mean?
Hey, cheers to that. This is not a high noon, guys. This is a Celsius. I'm not drinking in the morning.
Hey, so this is the thing though. How have you not cut the video up and put it out there yet?
Honestly, like I would, but I can't sit in front of screens for that long. Like I didn't think I was gonna have like I never had a concussion because I'm soft, right? In California, we're soft. We didn't play football, so I've literally gotten hit in the head hard twice, and it happened in the last year. And of course, both of them were feeding a machine doing lessons. And this time, like I woke up the next morning and I went outside and I was like, oh, like it hurt my head. So
yeah,
I've been a little bit shaky the last couple days, but yeah, I just didn't want to. I totally have the video. It's totally cut up. And you can hear me on the phone with my mom. I'll have to put out some video.
dude, please put it out. Send me the whole uncut version. But you want to know something beautiful as well? We'll have to get on here and see. So I don't know if I told you, but that happened to me like almost a year ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you that?
I think I briefly remember it.
Right. So anyway, just off the machine into the opposite eye. So I was like feeding over here and it went and like faking
I
like
remember. I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember this.
So, but like the kids laughed at me because like faking like I got hurt would be something I would do to like get a rise out of them, you know? And so they were like, oh, and I was like, so but like I couldn't see out of this eye for like a minute and a half. And I was like, I thought my eye socket was broken. I was like, oh, here we go. And anyway, I kept going and then it came back in. But dude, we'll have to put those out there because I have my video. They were videoing this one too. So, dude, how funny would that be to put them both side by side and just be like, look, this is what can happen.
And like I'm the responsible thing to do would to get like a face mask because I'm sure I still have a concussion, but like I'm cheap and I don't want to buy a face mask.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not very gritty, guys.
Right. I may think about getting a Scully though. I saw. Do you remember Micah Franklin? He was the AA coach with the national. I think he was in Wilmington. I can't remember. He was a Latin guy.
Anyway, or the goalie in the.
Yes, funny, totally random. I followed him on Instagram on accident, and he does hitting content. He's a great hitting instructor. Anyways,
really?
He wears a Scully, and it kind of makes sense a little bit, but that's lame. We're not going to do that. We're gritty guys. We're just going to wear it.
Yeah, you got to just wear it, man. I think one thing too is I was scared for like weeks after, and I would put that net, like the net, the L screen so close to the machine, like and I would flinch for a while. And then like after a month, I was like kind of over it. Right. But I use a lot of the foam balls now too. So like if I'm using foam balls, I'm fearless, obviously, because of foam. But like, man, and you know what? This might happen to you too. How often do you get hit like on like flips or like flips? Never? Oh, dude.
Never.
I'll tell you what, once a month I get hit doing flips. Because like dude, I just get too comfortable. I get too lazy and too comfortable. And
Bro.
I'm watching a couple swings. Like the other day, um, Paxton hit me in the arm. No, a kid named Cutter hit me in the arm because I was like this and I was just kind of watching and like I would just kind of throw the shoulder this way and I'll watch. But then I got lazy and I went and he just the next one, and I was like, okay. Which I mean, he hit it like 60 or 70 or something, but like I wasn't expecting it. I've been hit by much worse. I didn't make a big deal about it, but I was like, there's my reminder to get behind the machine.
That's the
And
thing.
softball hurt much worse. I don't know why.
That's the thing. If Nolan was 15 or 17, I would be dead. Or not dead,
Yeah.
like facial reconstruct, like Giancarlo Stanton facial reconstruction.
Yeah,
Even if
man.
he hit me lower, I would have broken teeth 100%,
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
jaw or something. Then it would be bad. But I guess I don't know how you set up the machine. I'm gonna start. My buddy Nash Knight, he said instead of like if the L is that way, he said to flip the screen around and put it so the machine's in front of the machine's kind of in front of the net, so that way
Oh,
ricochets will go in front of the net, if that makes sense.
yeah.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
that would be super good to
And
do.
hey, Hack Attack, better design though, maybe. I mean, maybe I don't know
Yeah.
what if there's anything they can do, like because honestly, that's a pretty dangerous thing if you're doing that. But
Well, even if they could just make like a foam piece around
oh,
like the
yeah,
right side or a cage piece or dude, something because like I thought really when I got hit, I thought that it was like such a coincidence, like it would never happen. And to hear you've been hit twice is
twice a
crazy.
year, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you know what I'm talking about? It's like on the right side of the Hack Attack, there's that little black, um, like a smooth black plastic piece. That's
Yes.
what it hits, and it goes. It's like a perfect
Yeah.
trajectory to your noggin. I guess I could just do it on the rights. I'm stupid, man. That's
No, you don't want to switch what you do. I think, well, mine, I'm pretty sure mine hit off the wheel, like the guard of the wheel.
oh yeah,
But
'cause
also
hit the other side. I guess
one
it's
of the
a chance, man.
yeah, one of the foam balls took my hat off one time and it hit. So like the pitch machine looks like this, right? This is a wheel and this is a wheel.
Mhm.
Well, it hit the far wheel and bounced back this way. So it didn't even hit the same wheel as side I was on. It hit almost inside the machine and popped back out.
What are the
My hat
chances?
stayed up. And
What are
so like
the chances?
what can you really do? I don't know, man. There's not
Part
much
of
you
it, man.
can do.
It's part of
I
the
think
grind.
it's part of it. I think it really is part of it.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll segue forward. Honestly, I can't remember the topic. I can't remember what we were going to talk about for Mechanics Monday.
Yeah, dude. So when you're turning, like when you're swinging,
Oh, the foot. That's right.
back foot, like what does your back foot do? You got Bryce Harper who comes off the ground. You got Mike Trout and even Altuve that scissor kick a little bit. And then there's like guys who just spin and squish the bug. And there's guys who slide that back foot and like drag it a little bit. I know what worked for me. I know what I did, what I didn't like, and what I did and I did like. I'll let you start.
I think I'll put them in order from worst to best.
Okay.
Worst, I think, spin. I think squish the bug is not good, at least for me. And I was taught in college, drive your knee, which kind of instigated the squish the bug. But I don't know. So it's a tie for last place between squish the bug and slide forward, at least for me. And guys slide forward as long as your head, because we talked about last week, staying behind your hip. If you slide and drag your foot forward, and your head moves with it, and you pop up out of the ground, for me, this no bueno. I personally learned to like, and I can see your face right now. I don't know if you agree. I learned to like the scissor, and honestly, like guys who keep their heels in the ground for as long as possible, I'm into that. And I like keeping width in the ground with the feet personally. I was a guy who spun. I sucked at that. I rotated too far
This is good.
for different reasons. Here you go, and then we'll kind of have a conversation. You know,
Right, good. We don't have to agree. And I'm not saying I disagree with you. I think number one worst, by far the worst, is the slide of the back foot because
Okay.
I did it right? And this is why, because I did it for years. In college, I would tear my shoes to bits because my right foot was sliding across the ground. But then my legs would get this close together and I would be this tall and I would just, yeah, no, right? And also, I was not rotational, I was linear, and I was not I was drifty, man. My head was moving. And
Yeah,
so yeah, and dude, this is the other thing too, is like even if I had to go back to thinking of the T-ball squish the bug thing, that just meant that I was trying to be rotational. My foot was still like sliding. I would come up on the toe, right? And then I kind of sit back in it afterwards.
Right.
It was more of a weight transfer thing, but I am okay with like driving the back knee down and then the foot kind of comes on tippy toe and then you work it back, opposed to like sliding. I like the scissor kick. What I've heard about the scissor kick is I don't teach it, but if they've got it, it's probably pretty good. You know, good hitters do that. They stop their hips with the scissor kick. It's like being closed, right? It's great. And then I think there was one more I said, coming off the ground. Okay. Like Bryce Harper does it because he's like, 240 all muscle and he's got a lot of force generated. Like if you're just hitting and coming off the ground, off and back up, you better be turning so hard that has to happen, right? If you're 7, there's no reason for your back foot to come off the ground. Same if you're 12. But if you're like 18 and you're like kind of jacked and like you turn super hard, maybe, I guess.
Yeah. And that's funny that there was a guy. So there's a bunch of guys on a team that I work with. I started working with one, and their coach, they all did lessons with their old coach, who seemed like a nice guy. Never met him. He taught them to he never hit. So he was a pitcher and he learned hitting through Instagram or whatever. And he would teach all his hitters to kick their back foot forward. So I started working with, funny enough, the nice lady, Kelly, her son, who was helping me with my crooked face. I started working with them. Then slowly but surely, I started working with more and more guys. They all mega kicked forward and they all had drifting problems and they all didn't spin well. And I can't stand that. Like that was Brumley's thing. He would talk about Harper, where all these kids like it when, and I fell into that trap in high school too, where like you try to kick your foot forward because you think it's powerful. Those moves, like that move, that kick forward and the scissor, it should be like a byproduct of how you're moving. I don't think force that. Absolutely not. Especially with the scissor too. It can get real weird if you're trying to yank your back foot back. It's an unnatural move.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Most people just start closed. Well, and so the reason I even say this is because I've been talking a lot with Dub Kilgo. He coached everywhere. He's a baseball legend. Anyway, he is everything he talks about with me is like anything that happens on the backside of your swing. Like, so if you're hitting this way, anything that happens back here is bad. So he was like, if you're just turning and squishing, like you probably got that swing that just stays back and you want to go forward and you don't want to lose that. If you want to be in the zone a long time, do it out front, which I love that too. And then I started watching some of my hitters some more and more. And it's like, get here and then kind of like, instead of go and extend and head down. And it's fine. I agree. And hardly none of my hitters just turn on their back foot, really. It's more of a weight transfer thing. I just know when I was in high school and somebody said, you need to start transferring your weight forward. All that meant for me was I was sliding my back foot thinking I was doing a lot. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing anything at all. So no, we're on the same page, I think.
We just have similar viewpoint, different way to get there, I guess.
But it's like just what we had to feel too when we were playing, because like if you were like staying back, you got to get your back foot go. Like if you just spin on your back foot, you're really never going to move forward, right? I was so drifty and my foot would slide that like if I could just think about like, hey, squish the bug. That sounds stupid because like every T-baller hears that, and now it's like, oh my God, what are you in T-ball? And then it's like, okay, kids, relax. But if I could just try to spin that back foot, I still wouldn't. There's no way. I would go to my toe and then sit back on it a little bit after.
That's the thing too. Yeah, dude. I'll have hitters where they're not turning at all, and I have to tell them, hey, dude, like turn as hard as you can with your back foot. Then
Right.
there's some guys who I'm like, hey, try to take a swing here and keep both heels in the ground, and they never
Yeah.
get heels in the ground. But like just the different thoughts to get you to that place where you want to get to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where and there's guys like George Springer. He swings, and I don't know how he does it. He can get a full turn and keep both heels in the ground.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
It blows
Have
my
you
mind.
seen have you seen the drill where you like like straddle a bat and like put it between your feet and then
Oh
you
yeah,
hold? I love that drill.
it's
You can open
fantastic.
up and close off. You can close yourself off and do it. It's nice.
Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, how do you feel? Because we were talking about the back foot in college. I learned that they taught us that the back knee kind of is the engine, and that kind of starts the swing. What do you believe to be the engine? Like, what starts? Is it the knee driving the foot, or is it the hip driving the knee? Is it the foot? What do you think?
Mine was probably I never thought about back knee because like if it goes, it's not going to turn me, you know? So I thought my hips kind of turned me. Um but with that, I could feel it like through here. Like I would be here and as soon as I went, I could feel a coil through like right here in my lat all the way down through my abs and stomach and core and like and then go. You know what I mean? Like yeah, my back knee worked perfectly, never had a problem with it, but I never thought about it either. You know, it's just something. What do you think?
Like I said, my whole career, I thought the the back knee was the engine of the swing that was driving it. And come to find out, I learned that staying connected and having a connected turn, like Brumley would talk about, when your knee, when your back knee, your back hip, and your back arm are all moving at the same time. If your knee goes first, at least in my opinion, it'll push your contact point out front, meaning you'll get a little bit steep.
Yeah, choppy.
For you, like when you're saying that your hip is driving it, it's kind of the same thought for me. It's like the core and the hip. Like the core turns the hip, turns the leg. I don't even like now. I don't even if a hitter's moving good. I don't even think about their foot turning. Like that's not a concern. Like that. Like we were talking about. That's a byproduct of how you're moving. You know.
Right. Man, also, I think like and it's funny because I was working on this with some kids this week. A disconnected turn, because if my kids are listening, the only thing they think about that's connected is like their bat to their shoulder, you know. But we're talking about from hips up to your arms, like how you turn. And if you want a better connected turn, if you feel like your hips go first, which is probably very few kids, but way more like college players, like I did it in college. I would turn my hips and my whole bat would still be back, and then it would kind of drag through. If you want a better connected turn, just tighten your core. You can't turn disconnected with a loose core. It's impossible. Try to talk to them about like, hey, like if this is tight and you feel like a brick wall and then you turn, they're going to gain about 4 miles per hour of exit velo and it's going to be great just because like I have some people who I'm like, turn the hips hard. Hips is the engine. You got to go with the hips, go with the hips. And then they're like, turn their hips and then their bat's like, I'm like, okay, now do it and tighten your core up. And it's like, wham! It's like party, you know, and they turn much more connected. And that's something I did wrong for a long time and never knew how to fix. If I just would have tightened my core up, I think it really would have helped.
Yeah. And like I do this drill very, very simple. If you're a dad out there, whoever is listening, and you have young children, I tell the kid, I take their bat, I tell them, hey, get in your stance without your bat. Like if you had a bat, and I say, okay, take your left hand and put it on your hip and make a fist with your right hand. Like, or if you're left-handed, whatever your top hand is. And I
Right.
take my hand out and I'm like, okay. Because I try to like you try to make it as athletic and as
Right.
as, as athletic feeling as possible. I say, okay, hey man, punch my hand as hard as you can. And if you tell a kid to punch, most of the time they're not gonna like drive their knee. Like they're just gonna be athletic and just turn and just punch because that's how you generate force. Then you're like, okay, just do that. And then most of the time a kid will figure it out. But you can't be weird and punch somebody. You lose that fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Can't be weird, man.
don't be
I
weird.
talk about that. I talk about that with like back elbow stretches too. Like the kids that are like this, like I'm like, dude, if you're punching me right now, I'm gonna beat you up
Yeah.
because you're like, but if you're punching and you're like, wham, then
Yeah.
you're gonna actually got a chance. And
Yeah.
I hate that it all hitting equates back to punching because like I'm always like, okay, so if you're my dude, and I always say this, I'm always like, okay, if you're my punching bag, that's what I say for some reason. I don't know why. And like I talk to like an 18-year-old kid. I'm like, all right, if you're my punching bag right here, and they're like, yeah, okay, I'm listening. You're obviously not going to punch me, like no problem. But then I I give lessons to little girls as well. So I'm like, and that's when you really got to talk about like load and stretch because they're like, and I'm like, all right, so if you're my punching bag and I do like this, and they're like,
You're like, if I was gonna
like, hey, are you okay at home? Like, I'm not gonna punch you, you know? Like, do you feel safe at home? I'm not gonna punch you. I'm just showing you.
yeah,
And
I'll
they're
tell the kid. I'm if I wanted to put a hole in your chest, and they're like, oh my god, put a hole in my chest.
yeah, stomp a mud hole in you real quick. Oh, that's funny, dude.
Coach Landon, we're kind of in a gray area. We got 9 minutes and 45 seconds left, which isn't long enough for a new segment, but we kind of put a pin in the first Mechanics Monday segment. What are we going to do in this purgatory 9 minutes?
Jagger came to the building.
I heard about that. Yeah, we had a conversation about that. Hey guys, he said, and this isn't me, this is the Knicks family. They said, and I quote, Barrel Factory's bitching. You can put that on a shirt, on a sticker. Barrel Factory bitching.
Yeah, kid was cool, man. Cool kid. He knows he's cool too. So
Jagger does know he's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you should know that you're cool. How do you think you're not cool and hit? How does that?
Yeah. He knows. They said they wanted a HitTrax. He said he wanted a HitTrax, and I was like, I bet if you choose between this and a new car when you're 16, you could probably maybe. And that was just, I love that.
It's a good way to put it. Yeah, I think my first car was
around on his bike.
My first car, I think, was 5,000. Thanks, my aunt. Thanks, Aunt Mary. So you could get what, 4 cars?
I don't know. Four cars,
or 2 good, decent ones, or 1 pretty solid to Camry or something.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I got my first truck was hand me down. My dad's truck. It was his truck for like 10 years almost, and then I got it, and so it was nice. It was a Chevy.
That's not the truck that you had with the Nationals, right?
No, that one my dad got me that one too when I graduated, and then I made a few payments on it when I actually got a job. But I drove through college with that black truck, and then I'm on my second transmission, and it's I'm gonna drive it forever, probably. Be good.
I've had the pleasure
about that.
I've had the pleasure of driving that beautiful truck.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what we can talk about? I had a couple so my buddy Nash, who does lessons next to me, we were talking about his kid. He's 14 or 13 or whatever, 8th grade. They were he was like, hey, you ever been to West Palm Beach? I'm like, oh
boy, have I.
Oh boy, have I. He's like, what, you been to West Palm? I'm like, yeah, dude, the Nationals, man. We were there. Do you ever miss West Palm Beach?
No answer. It's not a yes, it's not a no. What part?
Man, because he's like, you been there? And I was describing all the stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, we stayed right next to Elizabeth's on the, where the Italian joint was. I'm like, yeah, it's nice, man. And I'm like, have you been onto the other side of the tracks? Like, have you gone west about 5 minutes down Okeechobee? He's like, no. I'm like, do you like strip clubs? Do you like steak? Well, I got a place for you.
Yeah. Never went to any of those, by the way. I never went to the steakhouse, or definitely not the other one, but the steakhouse, the Okeechobee Steakhouse, like, dude, Sammy used to be like, let's go to Okeechobee Steakhouse. And I'd be like, okay, man. I signed for 10 grand. He signed for $1.5 million. 1.2. And he's like, let's go. And I was like, man, I mean, if you're inviting me, I'll go. I just don't have that kind of money. So I appreciate it though. He goes, oh man, I can't pay for you. I was like, then what are you doing? What do you mean? I was like, what do you mean you can't pay? You want me to go? I can't pay for $198 steak. Like, that's my food for the week.
Yeah, what?
Like, I can't do that.
Yeah, us and the boys, we were heading down to freaking Texas Roadhouse That's all we could afford. And that was like a nice, we had some times in Texas Roadhouse, let me tell you. Oh,
Roadie, dude.
golly.
Dude.
Yeah, man. He was like, "Oh, I love West Palm Beach." And I was like, "Yeah." It was nice, man. It was cool. Oh,
Yeah, bro. I mean, between Flanagan's, T Roadie, and that I forgot what the barbecue place was called that actually wasn't bad. Um,
Hmm.
bro. I mean, I miss the times with the boys, but like we had so many times with the boys, like
Too much. Yeah.
it was a lot.
We
It
had a lot.
was a
I mean,
lot.
that's all we could do.
It's all we could do,
Hey, were
man.
you in the car? I don't think you were in the. No, you weren't there when
The gun
the
on
road
Lyle.
rage incident and the gun. The guy.
No, yeah, no. I met y'all at the water park. I remember his whole
That's
time was
right.
ruined. His whole time was ruined at the water park because um he was messing around and somebody pulled a gun. You can tell it. Do we have
Here,
time
can
for
we
that?
break really quick for 4 minutes and then we can come back and do that?
Yeah, for sure.
You have time today?
Yeah, I got good time. I'm good.
All right, here, let's break. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Meh.
I know no other 18-year-old kids have ever done anything stupid, but I get it. He's still playing. So
Yeah, he's still playing. Whatever, it's fine. Um, anyways, so
hey, 75 people, you better not say nothing.
I know, right? The 38 people that are gonna watch this.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Florida? Please, you should go if you haven't, because it is like, I don't know about your experience, but it's kind of like Mars. Like it's a different universe.
Oh,
Probably one of the weirder places in America, 100%. And it is like Texas, it's a pretty free state there. So you better watch yourself or somebody's gonna check you. So, anyways, I now remember very vividly, it was draft day on Sunday. I think it was day two. No, yeah, it was day two on draft day. We had an off day, we had Sundays off. Me, a couple of my buddies, my roommate, who was an 18-year-old new guy from high school, two other college guys. We went to the mall just to hang out, and then we made plans to go to a water park with all of our boys, a group of 7 or 8 of us, which was freaking sweet.
so fun.
Oh man, it was good. And we went to the mall. We were coming back. It was like 1, and I remember um, guys were getting drafted, and I was thinking in my head, "Oh man, outfielder's not good." Anyways, we were on the 8. What freeway was that? The 8. The
Uh, uh, 95, I-95.
95. I think it was the 95. One of the most dangerous freeways in the world, I'm pretty sure, by the way. Like there's lots of accidents and like people shooting people on the free. Anyways, we were driving home and I was on my phone in the front passenger seat looking down and music was loud. And my stupid 18-year-old roommate I could hear him yelling at somebody and like
Yeah.
swerving around. And I was on my phone and I looked up and I was like, man, what the hell are you doing? And I turned to my left and he was yelling at this guy who was behind us in the carpool lane, and he sped up at 100. And I went back on my phone, oh dang it! Someone was like, "Man, this guy cut me off. This is BS." What? I'm like, "Bro, you got to chill." Look down again. Looked up to my left, and the guy had sped up, and all I see when I look up is his 9mm muzzle looking at me. And I remember he had like aviators on and the muzzle was pointed at us. And I was like, oh shit, what are you? Oh my God, get down. And Eric Tolman, the goober behind us, he's like, he's got a gun. Oh my gosh, he's gonna shoot. And he pulled out his piece, dude. And we freaked out and he like slammed on the brakes. And I was like, he's like, what do I do? I'm like, get off the freeway. So like slowed down to like 40 miles an hour and he scooted off the freeway. And I remember being so angry because like guys who have road rage, I mean, obviously we get annoyed in the car, but like, God, like he's just so out of our control. I was so angry, and I remember screaming at him, and I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And he's like, "He cut me off." I'm like, "What? Yeah, man. What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, it's his fault." I'm like, and I chewed his ass out, and I made a joke. I was like, well, I could say on my bingo card, like I could say that a guy was going to shoot me, and everybody was laughing. And we got back to the hotel. This kid, like, we got out of the car, and he was hands on the wheel, staring at the wheel, like gone.
Oh, Yeah.
Didn't say a word. Like he looked like he was in a war zone. So we went up to our buddy's room and we were talking about it. And I went back to my room and he was on the bed sobbing,
Yeah.
sobbing and crying. And
Yeah.
he was destroyed. And he was like, I am so sorry. I didn't want to hurt you guys. Like I never meant that. And basically he ruined his experience at the water park, which is
Yeah.
which is hilarious. Like we went from that to going
The
and having
water
a
park.
good time sliding down slides.
Right.
Oh
No,
man.
I remember I was trying to like talk him off the ledge because, like, dude, I've been 18. Like, there's a certain point of your life where you're like, if you just have no cares, like that's cool, you know? And I think that's the part of his life he was in. And then when it backfires like that, and especially with people you don't really know, you know, like we didn't know him that well yet. And now I know him well and I love him, but I promise you, he's never done that again
Oh
because,
no.
like, dude, it embarrassed him so bad and made him feel like at first, you know, like you say, he was like, oh, we're all good. Like it was his fault, whatever. And then you were like, I don't care about what you think. I just got a gun pointed at me, and that's not okay. And dude, he was distraught. I was like, bro, listen, buddy, it's gonna be like we're alive. It's gonna be fine. You don't. He was like, I thought he was gonna like quit ball and just pack it up and go home the first day he got there.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, no one's gonna like hate you for this. We're all gonna remember it. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, he was like, oh,
Because
he was like,
in an 18-year-old's, I think he was he's either 18 or he was young, like
yeah,
got just out of high school. For those of
yeah,
you listening, you don't understand stuff like because the reality is we did nothing happen, and it was a funny story looking back. But in a lot of cases, I'm sure in America, a crazy guy unloads a magazine of 9mm rounds into our car, and like
right.
that is a very real possibility that would happen, especially in Florida because those people are nuts. But luckily, it worked out. And yeah, he told me, he's like, the next day, I will never say another word in the car ever.
Yeah,
And I'm like, this is good. I mean, we had to learn like the hardest of ways,
yeah.
but
I
don't road
guarantee
rage, guys. Oh man, Texas is bad too. There's lots of angry people here. I don't know how it is in everybody's kind of chill in Riesel. I don't know about Waco, but oh man, that North Tollways, it's
Yeah, dude, we don't even have traffic, so like no one can possibly get upset. Uh, it's not a big deal.
yeah, it's totally fine. Um, do you have any what are we going to talk about? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, dude. Questions. I don't know, man.
Guys, we apologize for this podcast. While we wait, guys, go to Barrel Factory, go get a shirt, go get a hat. Say hi to Landon. He's got no beard today. He's got a hit tracks. He's got a field. He's got cages and stuff. It's freaking sweet. I'm having an online program. It's pretty cool. Video analysis from anywhere in the world. Please sign up for it so I can pay for my facial reconstruction. Thank you for the ad.
Yeah, facial reconstruction is so cool. So cool. Hey, I do have something that's off topic. Is that cool though?
Dude, let's hear it.
I just want to say, do you remember though when you were 18 or even like earlier, like when you were like 15, but your buddy was 16 and could drive? How, dude, what a time of your life. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, dude, like when I was like a freshman and like my friends had driver's license or like I was a sophomore, dude, you got in the car, everything mattered. Like you couldn't, dude, what a nostalgic time to be like 15 years old and get in the car and be like, bro, this is yours. Everything mattered. What song was on the radio mattered. If the window was up or down and if your arm was in or out mattered. You were, what a time. How nostalgic was that?
Dude, I remember as a freshman in high school, because I was lucky enough to be on varsity as a freshman. So all my friends, my best friends were on freshman team, and I would practice with the older guys. So the guys that were juniors when I was a freshman, they all drove, and like they would let me hang out with them, and they're like, hey, I remember during the season, one of our rival high school across the city, we had a bye week. They were playing. They're like, hey, after school, we're gonna go scout them. Like, do you want to roll with us? I'm like, heck yes, dude, let's freaking go. So I pile into their shit, Jaeger George shit pile little car. There's 5 of us in there, and we go to QT. We get some sodas. We're jamming to. I remember very vividly. We were listening to the Black Parade. Do you know that song?
No.
When I was a young boy.
Oh yeah, yeah, I
That
do
one,
know
yeah,
that.
and they sung their ass off all the way down the 18 freeway to Simi High School, and we scout like we just watched them play,
Just made fun of the other team, probably.
and it was great. It was some of the best times ever.
Dude, can you like? Oh man, this was. I mean, talk about all that mattered was like if you got in the truck with your boys and it wasn't even yours. Oh my gosh, dude. I remember being like, how is this yours? And I was the same way, right? I did the freshman on varsity thing, but also in football when I was young, I would go with some of the seniors to do whatever, like after the game and stuff. And I remember I was still most of my freshman year, I was 13. No, maybe 14. I don't remember. I was young for my age. So whatever that comes out to be, I almost graduated at 17 years old. So
So we were the same deal,
right.
kind of.
Anyway, I remember going from just being a kid, like a literal kid, and then like playing varsity sports and being like, "Hey, we're going to eat at Whataburger after the game. You need to come." And I'd be like, "Mom," and she'd be like, "Okay, like that's fine." And I would get in the car and be like, "You guys live a different life to me." We'd go to Whataburger and do whatever, and something stupid always occurred where it made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, but like I had to be cool. Dude, those times were different. Like those guys were adults. They were 18 years old. I
Yeah,
was 13 and a half,
yeah, it's aggressive.
14 and a half. I don't know. I guess 14. I guess you have to be 14. But dude, 14 years old, I felt like it was such a weird time, but oh my gosh, that was aggressive. That was the greatest thing.
What's a more aggressive scenario? Freshmen in high school hanging out with the seniors, or freshmen in college hanging out with seniors?
Freshman in high school.
You think?
100%.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Because I
What do
remember
you
in
mean?
college, we had 5th year seniors who were redshirt. They were 24, and I was like 18 years old or
Right.
23. Like this chat Bible, literally, he played 7 years of college baseball. He was a 24-year-old man when I got to. He was my like when you do the official visit, they have a player guide you. Chad was my guide, and he was 23 at the time when I was a senior in high school, and like now we're teammates. And you ever seen Van Wilder?
Yeah.
He was basically Van Wilder of the baseball program. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't feel like I should be here hanging out with 25-year-old men, but like we were on the same team. It was crazy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think it might be because some of my best friends, like one of my absolute best friends when I was a senior, actually two of them, they took me. I was like the country guy, like right. I was like the small town, like, hey, I bet this guy could take us hunting if we were really nice to him. So these two guys, John Franz and Aaron Bartow, took
Yeah.
me under their wing. Yeah, his name's John Franz.
John
I think
Fromm.
it's anyway. Um, so one was the student assistant, like the GA. That's John. So it was his 5th year or 6th year in school. And then Aaron was a 5th year senior, and they were both really old, but they were so nice to me and everyone. They were just great. They were the greatest. They were inclusive, and like they were like, "Hey, this kid's pretty good. Like he's a good player." And I would like, we would do stuff together, and straight took me under their wing. It was so much fun. But when I was a freshman in high school and I was 14 years old, it was not like that. It was like, don't you dare say something stupid because these guys are never going to forgive you.
I think that's kind of true. Yeah. I think in my situation that was true too. I remember getting bullied pretty hard as a freshman in high school.
I don't even think I was bullied. I just think like I was in another world, right? Because like just getting driven around and like all these choices I had to be making and making sure I was doing what's right, but like trying to be cool. Oh my God. It's tough times. And it was only because like I was kind of a cool guy, so I had to like be cool is weird, but I wasn't into like the party and stuff or anything like that. So trying to be cool and not do that stuff is like crazy.
Yeah. You gotta learn to be cool. Especially, I don't know, like in college, you can make a I don't know. I think the difference in college, you because you don't go home to your
Yeah.
house, like you're by yourself. So like those decisions, in the moment when you're there, you don't really think about it being very impactful. But like I remember a couple of my buddies as a freshman when they were juniors, like they were getting arrested like
Yeah.
on a Saturday. And like that's big boy problems when
Yeah.
your boy is off his ass, he's had 12 beers and he's trying to pull out the stop sign off,
Yeah.
like that's a bad look, you know?
Right.
Like
And
that's stuff you got to avoid.
right. And then in college, of course, like the parties thing is more like it's probably I hate to say more okay because a lot of the kids are watching this, but like I didn't party at all in high school, none. And then like when I got to college, it's like kind of like, yeah, you can do it. Just like don't be stupid. That's the part of don't be stupid. Like if we walk over to the football field and practice football field and do what we did, like that's a little bit stupid, but not like very stupid.
Yeah.
But the pulling out stop signs and like doing things of that, like that's stupid. Like you're gonna get arrested. You pull out a stop sign, somebody might die. You know?
Yeah, that's true. You guys do I mean, we'll have to watch ourselves here, but in college, did you guys ever do like freshman initiation? Was that a thing?
No, dude. We
You
never
never
did
did
that.
that?
They said they were gonna do it to my group, and I was like, oh no. Like, oh no. But they were like never really got around to it because I think the group before us, they made them do something, and it was like they were like, yeah, not cool, guys. Let's not do that anymore. And so
Yeah.
it was kind of like frowned upon for my group. But I've heard horror stories.
Oh, dude. We
Bad.
no, we did. So our class didn't get anything bad. Like all we did during the season, our freshmen, we just got our head shaved. You know. Oh, guys, Coach Landon has left the building. We have a black screen, and now it's all on me. Now it's my show. I don't know where he went, but I hope you guys enjoyed this thus far. Hopefully he comes back
Believe that?
next. Oh, is he here?
Can you believe that?
What just
I
happened?
I had dust on my computer and I wiped it off, and all of a sudden I'm gone.
Dude, you left, and I got so scared just then. Did you hear me?
What?
Did you hear what I
No,
was
I was
saying?
off.
I don't even remember what was going on. I was like, guys, I'm sorry about this. Like, it's me now. I'm sorry. I hope Landon comes back. What were we talking about? I was
So, yeah,
out.
Hazel.
So we had an initiation. We didn't have anything bad done to us, but we just got our heads shaved like during the season as all the freshmen. It was
That's
brutal.
pretty bad.
It was bad. Like I remember there's a clip of on YouTube somewhere, some beautiful clip. I hit a homer as a freshman and I took my hat off or my helmet and it was like, oh my, it looked like a little
Ball.
yeah.
Ball.
But yeah, I guess the year either before or 2 years before, like really bad. Like I guess I wasn't there, so I could say it. That's not my problem. They all got him in the clubhouse late at night, and they actually that's not true. They went to their dorms and they blindfolded them and kidnapped them. And then they took him to the clubhouse at like 1 in the morning, and they had set up like in the showers. They set up strobe lights and put the speaker in there. So they kidnapped them, stripped them of their clothing, turned
Oh,
off all the showers, put on the strobe light, and started blasting like heavy metal music, and then put them in the shower and like locked them in there. And like guys who were drafted like and played professional baseball for a long time were in the corner. They turned the lights on after 10 minutes or whatever, and they were in the corner crying, like in fetal position in the shower. So like that's pretty awful. We never experienced any of that.
yeah, dude. I mean, I've heard some that were so bad that like that's crazy, man. And people don't even think about that and why there's such a like a I don't know what the deal is with like stripping of clothes, but like it seems like every hazing opportunity is like, yeah, you're getting like
Yeah,
that is
those are coming up, which is
dude.
hilarious.
And that was something I never thought about because I had dreams of like playing Division 1 baseball as well, and like I wanted to go to A&M, LSU, and then like I heard these stories when I was in high school, and I was like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
how can you, dude? So I got one from Baylor. I know somebody. I shouldn't say that probably, but I don't think it matters much. But anyway, they got him on the field, and like they hit a ball. Um, they took him in the locker room. It was freezing out, like 30 degrees in the winter. Nobody had clothes. The seniors would hit a ball. They would hit a ball to center field, and whoever brought the ball back got to go inside and get their clothes back on, and they were done. But they were like wrestling for it. Dude, can you imagine? And so, like, dude, I'm not even gonna say anybody who was involved, but like, if that would have been me, I don't know how I would have handled it. I mean, I think I probably would have done it because like that's how you're like accepted on the team.
Right.
I think, which is such a weird deal. Like hazing should be so outlawed, but like that is crazy, dude, to be out there.
Hilarious. Making dudes wrestle without clothes on the field. And oh man, that wouldn't fly at San Diego State because in the left field corner, like behind the foul pole, there's like a 15-story dorm. So like
Oh yeah, you
they
can't do
can
that.
see everything going on. That would be some shit if we were naked wrestling on the field. And
Somebody can see you, yeah.
oh dude, oh, and all the freshmen were taking videos. Yeah, none of that happened. None of naked field wrestling didn't happen at San Diego State, but
But dude, yeah, no, that wasn't me, my group, my UMHB at all either. But I just heard that story from a guy. But like, there's also other stories from guys like up north and like I don't know, way out west that are like like worse, like so much that I shouldn't even say it because like it's bad, bad.
yeah. And like this universities they say no hazing, don't haze. Every level, every organization, every sport, doesn't matter what, if you're guy, girl, doesn't matter. Unless maybe you're a golfer. I don't know what the golfers do. It does happen. And it happens, there's just degrees of it. Like
Yeah,
our super mild, we got our head shaved, and then there's the guys who are wrestling with their buddies on the field at midnight. And that's just it is what it is. So
yeah, I don't know how you handle it. Like, dude, oh my goodness, just the things are gonna change so much. Like, dude, coaching teams right now, I'm like, I'm like, guys, we got to stay focused on baseball. Don't be talking about Fortnite in the dugout. Like, focus on the game, play hard, hustle. When they get about 14 and 15, I know I'm going to have to go, guys, I get it. Your girlfriends are here at the game. Please don't think about that or worry about baseball. Like, there's time for your girl. And then they're going to be 18, and I'm going to be like, guys, you don't need to go party. That's what college is for. Please lock in. And then I guess now one thing I should warn my guys about that are going to college is like, hey, probably gonna get hazed, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you should do.
and be ready because it's coming. Hopefully, you
No.
choose your university wisely.
Yeah.
But hey, man, like that's what championship. That's the DNA. That's how the DNA of championship teams get created, right there.
I guess, man.
Hopefully, it's not awful, but like it's kind of
You
like,
sound like you're pro haze.
huh?
You sound pro hazing right now.
Am I pro haze? I don't know. It's
That's
like a conditioning thing, like where if you get to campus and you have a whole bunch of guys that don't know each other, and then your coach says, "Hey, we're going to make this conditioning so awful for you that you want to die," and then all of you guys want to die together, and then you bond closely, like tight. So it's kind of the same deal. I don't know.
yeah. Anything bonding, I need to have fully dressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably a good idea. You got anything? I think that's a good one to end on. I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, that was cool. That's stuff that I think nobody thinks about. That's why we're here, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
like people think about your back foot hitting, but like your kid going to school and getting hazed is like not something you think about,
No.
right? And so
I don't know.
if little Johnny comes home head shaved, like that's crazy, you know?
Yep, and it only gets worse from there.
Yeah. That is a light one. Like we didn't have anything. Just I guess I got lucky, man. But whew,
Yeah, head shave. I mean, it sucks because I had beautiful hair, and then that was like the decline of my
yeah,
hairline and the bald spot. That's when it started. But hey, what can you
yeah.
do?
What can you do, man? What really can you do?
All
That's
right.
crazy. That's
What are
good.
you
That's good
working
stuff,
today?
man. Huh?
Working today.
Yeah, dude. What do you think I am? Some bum? You think I'm a freaking bum?
I think I'm a bum. Hey, you got that beautiful building. Are you running a charity? I don't know. I mean, you're getting your work in.
Yeah, I'm working. I'm working. I want to send you the video of me getting hit in the face, and I want you to send me the video of you getting hit in the face, like when we hang up here. And
Can't see
you
me
do
get
both.
hit. You just see
Oh,
the swing, and it's more of the reaction of Nolan, who was terrified.
okay, yeah, I'll take that though too.
All right, man. Go do your thing. Guys, we appreciate you watching. Every last one of you guys, 13 of you watching, we appreciate it.
Yeah, it's fun. Nice job,
Okay,
man. See
another
you next
week. Another week.
good week, man.
All right.